everyone. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel, This Chick Budgets. I just want to take a second and just thank everyone that watched my last video. I got more views and more likes, subscribers than I ever anticipated. So thank you so much from the very bottom of my heart. That means the world to me. You have no idea. It was very surprising. So some of the questions that I got during my last video or from my last video, I will actually address in this video, as well as some updates and some useful tips. So stay tuned. All right, so we are in March, and March worries me primarily because we have a lot going on, and we have taxes coming up, and I'm trying to get even more nitty-gritty in our budget, trying to change due dates, and synchrony was a big one that was mentioned in the comment section, recommending that I call and ask for a change in due date. That is going to happen. Hasn't been done yet. Last week we went and got storage. So all of last week we were driving. That was a really long trip, y'all. Especially when your husband drives for a living and can knock out, 15, 16 hours in a day. So that was a very long trip. I did not realize until we came home, going over all of our bills, that he is the only one on this account and they will not speak with me. So he is back to work, and that will have to wait until he comes home. I do not call him while he is on the road. So that will be taken care of. The one change that I am gearing up for is that our budget, this paycheck, because it is our mortgage paycheck, is only going to allow me to pay one of the two Synchrony cards on time. I usually have these both due on the same day as one lump bill. It made it so much easier than writing everything out here. This is the first month that I'm not able to make both payments at the same time. I got caught off guard last month by having to pay with my middle of the month paycheck, not realizing there's a $30 and I reread our statement, up to a $41 late charge per account, which thankfully last month we only got $30 each. So I was much more stringent in reading those bills. For right now, I'm only able to pay one. Now, I do have a little bit of money left over, which will cover the late fee if I push it to the middle of the month's paycheck. Whew. I hope that made sense, because in my head it did. So one Synchrony is going to be paid on time. I know the other one is going to get a $30 late fee. I do have some residual that will pay for that late fee so that I can use March 15th's paycheck to pay for it. Otherwise, I am going completely negative in this pay period. I did try to change a lot of my other bills. It did not work out that way. I had made changes in the past. One even brought up the fact that I changed my due date in the past. So I did not get very positive responses by calling on certain bills in the beginning of the month, trying to move them to the middle of the month. It was just so far a no-go. So my only saving grace is going to be, will they move my Synchrony cards? I don't know. But I will keep you informed if I'm able to accomplish that. But for right now, I am able to pay mostly everything except two bills. So I am going to pay my car payment with the 15th, and I'm going to pay this with the 15th. All of the rest I'm going to be able to make. So going to our budget, due to us being on vacation last week, we got a bare minimum paycheck. So I have all of these bills that are technically due. The mortgage, our LifeLock subscription, Our Synchrony cards, both of them combined, are $191. Our solar loan, which is auto draft, my car payment, and the electric bill. The electric bill does also have a late fee if I do not pay it on time. It is $75 per meter, and I have 2 meters. So I don't have a lot of wiggle room this paycheck. It comes out to $31.88, and I only have $27.75. This is the part of the month that I do not fund sinking funds and our variable expenses. Those I do in the middle of the month. So for this check, it is just straight bills. And because our mortgage takes the majority, I always have to finagle something. Some weeks, in some pay periods, I get lucky and I don't have to finagle anything. But for this time, I do. So our income is going to stay the same. We didn't have any increase in income over what I thought we were going to get. Our mortgage is going to stay the same. Our LifeLock is auto draft. That will stay the same. And our Synchrony. Now these are 2 cards I just budget one line item for. The lowest card is $58. The second card is $133. So I am only able to pay one of these, leaving $133 to pay March 15th. The 262 auto loan, solar loan, is $262. My car payment, I'm going to bump to the 15th. It is not due until the 10th, so I'm only 5 days. And my electric is $266. My buffer is $50. And even the $50 and the amount I have left would not even be able to pay that second Synchrony card. So that kind of prompted me to bounce it until the next check. So my Google Sheet says that this is $28.14, but let me check. I always like to check my math because sometimes when I'm redoing it in my book, I can transpose wrong or my Google Sheets adds wrong. It says 28. I'll be right back. Why does that still look wrong? All right, y'all. I had to go back and redo us. I made some major calculation mistakes, and transposing from my Google Sheets to here, all my math was wrong. Our income wasn't even right. Y'all, it was messed up. My income, $28.56. And this is because we didn't spend all of our food budget from last pay period, so I decided to roll it over and give us more income this pay period. All of these bills were going to stay the same, except I am not going to pay my car payment. My car payment, I am going to bounce to the March 15th paycheck, only leaves it 5 days late. This is the first time I've ever been late on my car in probably since I got it. So I'm not worried about that. And the electric is $266. I'm going to keep that the same. This buffer I had to reduce just so that I didn't go negative. So this is going to be $37, $28.56, leaving us with a zero balance. I originally thought I was going to have $42 left over. That $42, I thought with the $50 buffer, I had this $28.56 on my spreadsheet, but I had $27.75 in my book. So everything got really messed up. Everything calculates now, but I do not have that late fee I was hoping to save so that I can pay the second Synchrony credit card. So that is for March 1st paycheck. I do have other updates. Now, the Synchrony due date we just went over. I have receipts from our trip that I have to upload into my Fetch app. My brother-in-law, y'all, my brother-in-law found a job. Whew. I can breathe a little bit easier. So I don't know when he's going to get his paycheck. He has orientation this week. I have last month, his help for last month, and also his help for this month. So I am expecting sometime soon $600. That is going to be, whew. I have a cashless system. So I do not take cash except for our cash that I do take out of the ATM every pay period. And I wanted to go over how I manage my cashless system, because I do not take cash out of the bank in huge quantities and fill envelopes. So I just wanted to go over that with y'all. This is just a little spreadsheet I came up with for the sake of explaining how I deal in a cashless system. I bank completely cashless, so I don't put all my eggs in one basket. I have trust issues when it comes with my money. In 2024, I do not in any way, shape, or form feel comfortable going to a bank, coming home with a pocket full of cash. And I don't like sweeping my card really anywhere. And for me to have all that cash on hand opens up the possibility. That's just a fear of mine. That is exactly why I don't carry cash. Times have changed, y'all. Times have changed. And if you do budget with a cash system, be extra careful. Please be extra careful. I have 14 bank accounts. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. It does sound like a lot, and it is a lot. However, the way that I made that easy is I went to a bank that has free savings accounts. And I opened up other accounts to where I had the amount that I needed to house all of my sinking funds. So all of my sinking funds right here each have their own bank account. I also have my emergency fund in its own account. Our tax payments come from their own account. I know that the IRS is fully aware of every bank account that everyone owns. I'm not that naive. However, when it comes to making a payment and then using that same account to withdraw a payment from, because I've had that happen. I've had out of the blue, out of nowhere, a payment for an IRS payment comes out of our account when we didn't even set up a payment arrangement. So ever since then, I have one account that is dedicated to tax payments and tax filing and things that go on tax records, that is not tied to any other account, such as our main account that gets all of our money and could potentially blow a budget. So due to my own experience, now mind you, that was probably 15, 16 years ago that happened to me. So ever since then, I take one extra step and I have a dedicated account for those payments. So if they decide to take more or take a payment or however they want to act with that one account, there's never any money in it unless there's a payment due. So there's nothing to take or bounce or non-sufficient fund fee. I do have that if there are no monies in this account, they are not to pay it. So I took off that overdraft protection as an additional layer. I also do the same thing with my credit card payments. They do not come from my main checking account. That is just one extra step that I took, and those payments come from their own dedicated account. Our food, gas, and spending, all of these accounts that are in my variable spending, all have their own account, well, one account. I throw it all into one account. And as I spend money with my debit card, I transfer dollars and cents for dollars and cents. And that's how I work that. My long-term savings, and I also have a vacant account because, let's be real, our sinking funds change every year. Our sinking funds can change halfway through the year. They can change paycheck to paycheck. So I do keep an account that I keep like 5 cents in, just to keep it open, and it's there when I need it, and I can rename all of my accounts in my app however which way I want to. And it's just as simple as transferring. Everything is a direct transfer. Freezing my cards though, because I have dealt with fraud before, and y'all, it is not pretty. I freeze my cards after every usage. I also freeze my credit reports. Right now at this moment, we're not looking to finance anything at all. We have no reason to finance or open up new cards. That's just not the position that we're currently in. So there's no reason why our credit files have to be open and accessible. I go into the 3 major credit bureaus and I freeze our credit until there is a point in time where I have to apply for credit, or our credit has to be pulled for whatever reason. And what that does is it puts an added layer of protection that for anything to go on our credit report, it takes additional steps to do so. So I'm always freezing our credit reports. I did learn from my experience with fraud that there is a second level of credit card bureaus or credit bureaus that are not the main 3. If you go to a payday loan place and you take out a payday loan, they do not pull from one of the 3 credit bureaus. This was the case when I had fraud. This may not be the case in 2024. I do want to make that clear. But I was told through LifeLock, which is why I still have them, that there are additional bureaus that you have to freeze your credit under. And those are the ones that the payday loan places use, and the lower forms of funding or avenues of funding use to pull credit. And checks systems, it's CHEX systems and Teletrack. So all 5 are frozen. The other thing I do is I do have a small, very small amount of cash that I have on hand. Now that is in a locked container or vessel of choice, and you never keep it in the master bedroom. That is the first place to look. Never the master bedroom, never the master bathroom. It is just somewhere where no one will find it. So those are the 2 things that I do also. I do also have a LifeLock subscription. This video in no way, shape, or form is sponsored by LifeLock. It is just something that I use. I know that banks will often say, oh, well, we offer all of those services anyways. Sure, because you're holding all of my money. Of course you'll tell me that. Again, my trust. I do one extra level and I subscribe to a third party, and they even do the deed to your house. I know in recent years there's been a lot of fraud in that arena as well, and that is something that they now offer. So while it's an additional $55 a month, but it is an added level of protection on top of our bank, who does offer some of this as well. So I know that this is a lot of information. I did want to share it with you. I was hesitant at first, but it had to be said. But I did want to open all of the levels that I take to protect ourselves, and different things one may not have thought of or even gave any thought to. So I hope that this inspired you to maybe do different things, try to see what your bank offers for protection, and really do different steps to protect yourself. So this is my cashless system. This is how I manage money outside of my budget book and my Google Sheets workbook. So I do hope that this inspires you. Again, thank you all to those that subscribed, liked our last video, and became a member of our little Chick Tribe family. Thank you so much from the very bottom of my heart. I appreciate each and every one of you. These are the expectations for the March 1st paycheck, and I will be able to make much more of a dent in our middle of the month paycheck and hopefully get these Synchrony credit card due dates shifted. I'm really praying that they'll shift them. So fingers crossed. I hope that happens. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and until next time.